Hi, I'm Natasha Lockhart, and just like that, it's back to school time. We'll talk with an athletic trainer and ways to avoid an injury.
I'm Stacy Beck. We'll talk about planning your next vacation. I'm ready for that.
And I'm Angie Murphy. Have you thought about being a substitute teacher? We'll have all the details.
And we'll talk about what adoption means to children. All that and more is coming up on Studio Chatter. Watch us weekdays at 10 a.m. only on Spanish Fork 17. Welcome to Studio Chatter. Has this been the fastest summer ever?
Yes.
Yes.
And I don't want it to be. Like, it's just July. It's the endish, 1st of August.
I know, it's wrapping
But
up.
I feel like after the 24th, we always say this.
Yep.
Then it's, summer
It's
over,
time.
school starting.
It is time. It is definitely back to school time.
Are you excited?
Yeah.
Stacy don't really get it.
I mean, it's both, right?
Right.
Like, I'm sad to see the summer end, and you still want to hang out with your kids, and you want to do fun things. In fact, Barrett has a bucket list, and we've been trying to even hit some of those last, few fun things to do in the time that we have left, because we've been really, really involved this summer. Also, I feel like summer started really late, and now, and school is starting earlier.
Yeah.
It's super early this year.
Probably by the time
Right?
we air our next episode, school will have started.
So I hate
my
that
gosh.
summer's only 2 months. Because really, 1st of August, you just start prepping for school. And I feel like some things start back again, some extracurriculars, right?
Right.
Especially
Have
down
to
at
be
the high
school
school
shopping.
with football and
Yes.
drill and cheer and everyone's back.
Oh yeah, we're definitely right in the thick of everything.
See, my mind has finally shifted away from that, because I feel like even after your kids graduate, you're in that for a long time. But now I'm like, we don't have any.
Like my grandkiddos help me stay connected to that, but I was like, you guys are buying backpacks. Oh yeah, it's school
Yeah.
time. We
Yes,
should go buy an
it is
outfit.
yes.
Yeah.
So it's definitely back to school shopping time, and then organizing schedules. So I have one that's going to junior high this year. I have one that's still in elementary.
Wow.
And we'll be talking to the substitute teaching coordinator, and maybe I can help fill in some gaps there,
Yeah.
because I really am just managing, I feel like, schedules all the time. So I'm like, you have to be on top of it. You either have to check because there's changes all the time, right? So I'm watching.
Right.
I'm watching the football schedule, I'm watching a soccer schedule, I'm watching a cheer schedule, a skate schedule, a school schedule, it's
my
scheduling
gosh.
all the time. So that's where I was today, and that's why I have my tools.
Yeah,
Okay, tell
what's
us.
this about?
So I was kind of in the thick of all the back to school shopping too. So I popped into Old Navy, and I'm like, I can still be kind of hip, and everybody's untucking their shirts, and I've
A half tuck.
right, and a half tuck. I'm even I tried the Nikes this year, which is
You're
kind
in.
of a big change. Okay, but now I'm already behind, because this year is Adidas year.
Yeah.
So
I'm
so
doing
it
New
shifted?
Balance and Adidas.
Totally, yes. So everybody has switched branding this year. I'm like, wait, I just caught up. And
I hadn't heard this. Did you know that too?
Yes, but you can still, I feel like Nikes are timeless, but they're
I
definitely
agree,
trend.
yes.
Like my New Balances that kind of have the tread all the way up in front, that's back again. It's almost like 80s.
it's
70,
total,
80s.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh
So
I did not know this.
So helping to pull out a couple of things. Nobody wants my help. I just want help tonight. That was the problem. So because we were
okay.
so busy all day, I tried to follow a hair tutorial.
Okay.
So I've had long hair for a long time, so I have a lot of hair. So at home, I do the flippy do. And usually everybody sees me in my clippy, and it's fine, and there's my mom do.
Okay.
And easy.
and the weird pieces hanging out all over
Yeah.
the place. So I kind of, to pull it out, tonight a little more classy, and do the pull through pony, have a little more,
And
style,
it
I
didn't
guess.
work?
It didn't work. So I tried to do it myself, didn't work. Pulled Barrett in, didn't work. I actually pulled hubby in to help with the
my
hair.
gosh.
So yeah,
Well, we saw the video prior
Yes.
of him doing it. I really think that he give him one more shot. He's got that. He was doing a good job.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll try it later.
Watched a hair tutorial. Well, I shouldn't say that. I guess on Instagram, if they pop up and they're like, "Oh, here's how to style short hair, how to curl it. I'm like, oh, let's see.
I do.
I
save
always
them
see the
once in a
little kid
while.
ones and then just send them to my girls. Hey, this is cute. This is cute.
Right. There's so
Try
many
that
cute
for 5
things,
hours.
and I always feel so bad because I've never been able to really pull that off. But both of them complained tonight that I have too much hair, and it was laughable, really, because I've cut a lot off, and I'm like, child, you have so much hair. But she
You
does
do
her own
have
now, so
amazing hair, though. So
I just let the professionals
And you're
take
lucky
care of it now.
at this stage of life to have such thick hair still.
And all of the amenities, right? Because back in the day, oh gosh, now we're really aging ourselves a little bit. But I'm like, why don't you just pull out the diffuser? The what?
I love it. No, my future
did-
daughter-in-law pulled out her diffuser, and
Yes.
oh my goodness, I was like, I wish I had any sort of curl
Right?
in my hair because I could do that, and it was amazing. It threw me back. I said, when I had a perm, I used to use that.
Right.
Now, why was she using it?
Because she has naturally curly hair, so
Oh.
down in California she did it, and it was amazing.
And I think that hairstyle is coming back.
So what I'm
Well,
hearing
too.
is the 80s might be coming back.
Yeah.
Totally.
The best decade ever!
Maybe
Throw away the technology, bring on the
Oh,
fun,
yeah.
right?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you've even kind of seen the trends with boys, and I think boys are like really, really into their hair now too. Like I'm
Yeah.
even buying for Gunnar this. It's not even gel anymore. It's like a hair powder that they mix in, and they're
Oh.
able to kind of mold and style, and they're going to all of the fancy barbershops and
Yeah.
They
doing
matter
their thing
too.
now. Yes,
Yes,
no,
they
I
do.
love it.
So
I love
if
all
this
of
is
it.
true, I think the council should bring back dragging mane.
Yes.
It's
Did you
probably-
drag
yeah.
mane? And drag mane?
Oh, all
We're
the time.
not gonna bring it back. But
Yeah,
you
we won't,
did.
we won't bring up names, but yes, I would.
I thought you were going to say, should we all go get a perm? And I was
Oh,
like, yes.
yes, we should do that
yes, we
too.
should.
big earrings then.
Oh,
that
yes.
means they're coming
Big
back.
earrings,
Everything
perms,
big.
and dragging mane.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
So I actually
Let's do an
wanted to
episode.
borrow tonight as well the charms. So I had the charm
Yeah,
necklaces.
I have two that I've received.
Yes.
It's
my
like throwing it
gosh.
back to like Hello Kitty. You know that store, My Favorite Things?
Mine
It was
too,
in the
yes.
mall, the Orr Mall.
Oh my gosh, I just had this debate with somebody else the other day also, and I'm like, Hello Kitty, is she a cat? And now they've said no, she's a little girl, but I'm like, it's gonna always be Hello Kitty to me.
They're saying that was like
The drawing was
girl?
actually a little girl, so it's not a kitty cat.
No, it is.
oh my.
Okay.
And the kiosk in University Mall had the best Hello
Best
Kitty
charms.
peach gum
You could go
ever.
get
yes,
one of
and the
those.
charms.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh
Those
my gosh,
plastic
you gotta walk
necklaces,
down
put on the
memory lane.
charms.
We could spend hours on this,
I'm going
right?
to try and find one.
Welcome 80s.
Let's go.
Well, it's time to get the chatter going. Let's get started. With the end of summer, you may have just finished your vacation. Well, guess what? It's time to start planning your next one. Welcome Kelsey Smith with Fora Travel to the table.
Thank you. Excited to be here with you all.
Kelsey, you're
So excited.
darling.
Oh,
And
I'm
we
just trying
know-
to keep up with you guys. Are you kidding? You're all like dark.
I couldn't even do my hair today.
We cannot even figure out an updo for her. Okay.
Well,
so
we all love to travel, so this could be
I love.
a lot more than what we're going to give you.
Yes.
But tell us
Hey.
first, give us a little
Yeah.
glimpse of who's Kelsey.
Yes. So I'm Kelsey and grew up in Spanish Fork. So
Okay,
born
cool.
and raised here. Graduated from Salem Hills High School. Got a degree in experience design and management. So kind of travel experience based. And live in Spanish Fork currently. So my husband and I have been married almost 4 years in the next couple weeks, which is exciting.
Yay.
And I'm a travel advisor.
So
So
how did
exciting.
you get into that?
Yeah, so I was very blessed growing up. I was able to travel a lot with my family, which I loved. And we got to see a lot of cool places and do a lot of cool things. And looking back on that, those are all the experiences we love to talk about. Me and my siblings. I mean, those are the memories you remember for the rest of your life, and you never regret it. You never regret going somewhere. So it kind of just fit with my personality, with what I do, with my other jobs. So it just worked, and I love it. And I love helping create experiences for people who want to go places and want to do fun things. So
we just got back from a trip to California, and this year we didn't do Disney before. We usually hit that and then go. And it was like we were missing a
Yes.
part of our California trip. And I was like, what went wrong? Like, why is this not feeling fulfilling? And I think it's those memories that you kind of pull back into a place
Yeah.
or a time.
Yes, they're
So me
special.
talking about that, tell us about Disney specials if you don't mind.
Yes, of
Let's
course.
start with Disney.
Yes, so Disney's doing, it is like bizarre. They've never done it before. Walt Disney World Resort and Walt Disney World California are doing different promos, but if you book a Walt Disney World Resort, say just California or Orlando, they're doing 30% off rooms, which is crazy.
That's crazy.
It's crazy,
Those are
and it's
expensive.
now through the holidays. So if you're like a Halloween Disney traveler, which I know many are, it's incredible right now. So that's something to look out for.
So do you have to book and travel during this time?
Yes, so
Okay.
there are certain travel dates, but there also are, even if you're like, well, I want to go in December, they have a lot of options with what they call good neighbor hotels, which pretty much means they're Disney recommended hotels
Okay.
that'll give you like third or fourth night free. So there's all the deals. Always
That's
a deal.
so cool.
Yes.
And why is it better to book through a travel agent than
Yes.
just go for it on your own?
I love this question because I feel like there's a lot of misconceptions about travel agents. Because I feel like you hear travel agent and you're like, well, I'm already going to spend X amount of dollars.
Yes.
I'm not going to pay a travel agent to do it for me. Where really a travel agent, the travel agency I work for, it costs clients $0 to use my services because we get paid from travel partners.
Right.
So
You'll choose the hotel, and the hotel
Yep.
gives you a kickback, for example.
Yep, so it's like any sales job. But so it's like, why would you not take the stress out of your planning and let a travel advisor help with itineraries, help with booking hotels, help with booking flights? Because that stuff, let's be honest, when you're doing it for a group of people or whether you're doing it for a couple, you're like, I don't want to worry about the airport transfer. So that's where a travel advisor can come in and really like smooth things out for you and make it just so seamless and stress-free.
So the pre-planning conversation, the planning conversation, the execution, and then heaven forbid something goes wrong.
Yes.
And they reach back out to you.
100%.
Okay.
And like I would expect that.
Okay.
Granted, haven't had that happen yet, but if something ever did, I would totally expect that, and we would take care of it for them. And the other cool thing about a travel advisor is, say you want to go to like Los Cabos and do a secrets resort. Say you go to their website and you're like, okay, it's gonna be X amount of dollars. 9 times out of 10, if you book with a travel agent, it's gonna be the same price, but I can get you a lot more perks. So say like an early check-in, a spa credit, a welcome gift. So things that you're gonna pay the same amount of money, but because you book through a travel agent, you're gonna get more perks. If that makes sense.
I'm loving this conversation.
Isn't this crazy?
Yes,
It's like,
because
it's
I've always tried to
eye-opening.
be that gal or have my kids be that person,
Yes.
and it's hard.
It is hard.
Yeah,
It is hard. So
And we've never been to those places or had the information,
Yeah.
so you have it all at
yes,
your fingertips.
it's really cool. It's like the coolest revolutionary thing ever, and I love it.
So you've mentioned seasons a little bit as
Yeah.
well. Is there good times, bad times? When is
Yeah.
the best time?
Yeah,
what
I mean-
seasons travel in?
Depends where you're going. Like if you're
Okay.
going to Africa, I'm planning an Africa trip right now for someone.
Okay.
June is their winter. So kind of depends on where you want to go, and
Okay.
depends if, I mean, we live in Utah. Everyone wants to get out of here in December, February, March,
Yeah.
right? Which obviously then's a good time for Mexico. It's a good time for Bahamas. It's a good time for Caribbean. So kind of depends on where you want to go. I do love a summer vacation, regardless, though.
Okay.
It's fun. The summer's fun. It's just good vibes. So depends on where you want to go. But
So if we contact you, you can say, no, you should wait a couple months, and this is a
Yes.
hot deal time,
yes.
or whatever.
And the nice thing too is, as a travel agent, we're getting deals flooding our inboxes every single day. So if you're like, hey, be on the lookout for a Royal Caribbean deal. And the second it comes in my inbox, I'll be like, hey, they're doing 70% off second passenger rates. Do you guys want to go anytime in these dates, right? So it's
Okay.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
But
That is
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Really nice.
Do you think people get better deals too if you're not like, have to go this date and we
Yes.
want to go to Mexico? What about, we want to go on a really cool vacation?
Yes.
Work with
yes.
me. You're speaking her language.
Yes, you
Yeah.
are speaking my language. So my favorite is actually, I've had a couple clients who are like, look, I don't know where I want to go. These are the dates, like kind of like, here's a month or 2 months where I want to go.
Okay.
Give me suggestions. They're like, I want a Europe suggestion. I want a Mexico
Yeah.
suggestion. I want Greece. So it's cool to like be able to list out options, especially if you have like a month range where I can be like, hey, this week's less expensive for Greece. And like these dates are less expensive for Mexico. So it kind of depends, and it's cool because you can find tons of deals and all the
also, like
things.
I've worked with travel agents in the past, and I mean, the first thing is like, okay, where do you want to go? what are the dates, and
Yeah.
like, what's your budget? Is it A, B, or C? And then are you more of a 5-star hotel, or are you okay with 3 stars? Like, kind of asking you things that you wouldn't
Yes.
always like think of.
Yeah.
This is our budget. Keep it there.
And it's hard sometimes too, and especially kind of going back to Disney, Disney hotels are hard.
Yeah.
Because there's so many. And so it's like, well, which ones are good? Especially for someone who doesn't go all the time. They're like, okay, well, I see this Hyatt place, which is in walking distance, or there's this Orange County one over here. Where do I go? What's the price difference? Like, the nice thing with the travel advisor is you're like, okay, it kind of helps eliminate, like, we've got a list of like, hey,
Like,
these
what's
are
your
recommended.
importance? Like,
yeah.
to us, it's just like sleeping.
Yes.
And then waking up, making sure we have a clean space. So maybe
Yep.
some things don't matter. And that's
Yeah.
where you can say, hey, then across the street is just fine for you guys.
It's
Yeah.
so nice. And then it's like, it doesn't take, I mean, traveling takes time, especially if you're doing it yourself. Like, it takes a lot of time to research. And
Definitely.
so it kind of takes that stress off of being like, hey, here's the information, run with it. Let's see what you give back to me almost. And we'll give you a ton of different options of like, here's a lower budget option, on budget, over budget. Tell me what you think, you know?
Right.
Kind
Totally.
of deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I feel that I booked an Airbnb for the first part of our thing.
Oh, boy.
One night in Vegas, right?
Okay.
So I went off the strip. I did it so the whole family could stay in this little condo.
Yeah.
Enough space, looked good, right? Not great, but good. Had good reviews.
Yeah.
As we started to get a little bit closer, I was like, "Whoa, it's a little sketchy."
Oh, no.
Fine, it's gonna be fine. And it really was like the outskirts was okay, but as we got a little bit closer, I was like, we're gonna lock the doors and we're gonna stay
Yep.
inside, and that hot tub hasn't been cleaned in a year.
Oh my.
Yeah. Things you just don't know.
Right?
Things you don't know.
But I had researched that. Not a
know.
great spot. So
It's
yes,
tough.
we need you.
It's so
Everything
tough.
looks great on the web, right?
It
Like,
sure
of course, they're going to
does.
put the best pictures. They're going to,
Right.
you know,
Yep.
put all
Yep.
the best ratings, all of
Yep.
that. So, what has been maybe your favorite destination?
Oh my gosh. Can you beat Paris though? I don't know if you
especially
can beat
now,
Paris.
Oh,
right?
I think for
I
sure.
know. I'm
Like,
a
I think
romantic.
Italy.
Oh, I
you
know.
been to Italy?
No, but Venice is on my top. I like the romantic cities.
Oh, Venice is
I'm
like-
romantic.
Hands down. Like
Oh,
Paris
I can't
was,
wait.
Then you go to Italy.
Really? Oh, I love
Yep.
that. I love that.
Yeah.
But loved Paris. I mean, we just went to Jamaica. It was incredible.
Ooh.
That's actually a really good
So
question.
fun.
I would love to go live in Croatia if anybody cares.
I want to go there.
But passports. Are you giving suggestions for that as well? Make sure you have your
Oh, for
timeline.
sure.
Make sure that you're doing all of that in advance because you have first-time travelers or
Yes.
international travelers, which is a completely different animal. But
Yeah.
you're managing both international, domestic, and everything in between. What about a staycation?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
Park City, sign us up.
'Kay.
Of course you can. But yeah,
Gosh,
passport.
That just sounds easy.
It's so easy, but yeah, passports are a tough one. And so having like a travel advisor where we're required to take a lot of training
Okay.
on passports to avoid chaos when you get to the airport
Right.
and they're like, hi, this isn't, your visa
My
isn't here."
driver
Yeah.
license.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't work.
No. So
So
we take care
Kelsey,
of that.
if right now this is airing in August,
Oh, yes.
how soon do people need to be planning ahead? You're saying Disney this fall, early December.
Yeah.
Is now the time to start booking for next winter?
100%. I have clients
For
that are
next winter
booking.
or this winter?
I guess this winter.
Yeah,
Is that-
I guess I said
right?
next because it's like after Christmas is next
This
year.
It
winter.
feels like
Next
next.
year.
It feels like
Yeah.
next. But yes, I would say I have a ton of clients who are booking, especially February, March,
Okay.
right now.
That makes
but
sense.
also, like, if you're looking at deals right now, there's a huge. I think you said this airs like August 1st or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a deal Breeze Airways is doing right now out of Provo, $30
Oh, yes.
flights.
Provo.
$30
That helps,
flights.
Yes.
To tons of locations in the U.S. South Carolina, California, San Francisco. Like, it's craziness. So, anytime's a good time
that's
to travel.
Like your question before, sometimes it's better to just say, we want a
We're
vacation,
open.
tell us what the
Yeah.
deals are.
So if
right?
you would like
Yeah.
to plan a girls' trip for us, we can all we can
Absolutely.
make time.
Kelsey, we
I'd
have
go.
to wrap up.
Yeah.
But tell us
Sorry,
how do
I'm a
people
talker.
get a hold of you?
They can call me, text me, Instagram, DM me. My email's kelsey.smith@fora.travel. Phone number is 801-369-1027. Or you can message me on Instagram, which I'm sure you'll tag, which is so nice of you guys. But it has been an honor being on here with you. Thank you for asking
Good luck.
me. Thank you.
Enjoy your travels.
Thank you.
The football helmets are already crashing and the cheerleaders are flying, and it can only mean one thing. It's time for sports-related injuries. Let's welcome the athletic trainer from Maple Mountain High School, Abby Barney, to the table.
Thanks for having me, you guys.
Of course.
Hello, Abby. Welcome. Okay, so what got you? Well, first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself and then how you got into this realm.
Yeah, so I'm Abby. I'm actually originally from Idaho. Came down to Utah for school. And yeah, I grew up dancing and watching a lot of sports. All my siblings were the athletic ones, but I loved helping people, and so I think that's why I kind of got into athletic training. So I just graduated with my master's of athletic training from BYU. My husband's going to dental school in South Jordan, and I'm super excited to be here at Maple Mountain.
So you can be the breadwinner.
Yeah, I am. I
That
am.
is so cool. How many years of education did that take?
So BYU actually has an integrated master's program. So it's a 4+1, which is really fun. So I did 4 years in my undergrad in exercise science, and then started the master's program in my 4th year, and then just did a 5th year.
So cool. I love it.
Yeah.
And you said you are the athletic trainer at Maple Mountain High School, but your shirt says you're with Intermountain
Yes.
Health. Explain.
Yeah, so I'm employed by Intermountain Health, and then they have an outreach program. So I work primarily at the high school.
Okay.
So is there another one for other high schools? And
yeah.
you're specific to Maple Mountain.
Yes.
Okay, and that's 9th grade through 12th grade and all the sports?
In all the sports.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's a lot. Okay.
So I'm the sole athletic trainer for everyone.
Okay.
So I have seen this kind of in person. I mean, my girls did drill, and so I would occasionally run into the athletic trainer. Didn't really see their purpose, right? Okay. But then my son played football, and I saw Rory, their athletic trainer. He was there first in the morning, last. People would come to him with injuries. He was taping people. He was doing everything.
Yes.
You guys are amazing. Tell us about your day-to-day.
So day to day, right now it's like super crazy because I'm there from 7:30 in the morning. Football practice is getting done at 8:30 at night. So it's kind of an all day process. Once school starts, luckily they're in school during the day, you know, the morning. So I'll
Just
have that
getting
all.
a few people trickle in.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And then, you know, practices and games will be in the afternoon and evening. And we do treatment, taping, stretching, evaluation. So all of that. It's really fun.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
it's
do you
a lot.
also spend time in the classroom?
I don't. So a lot
Okay.
of athletic trainers previously they would teach during the day and then do
Okay.
athletic training after school. It's a lot to do that. And so
Oh my gosh,
luckily,
right.
with being employed by Intermountain, I just have to focus on athletic training, which is a huge blessing.
Okay, and you're focusing right now on specifically the football players. So we touched on the cheerleaders, but they doing stunts and all the things too. So if that happens, you're there too?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not going to be there for every practice, right? Like I'll be there for like the more intense practices,
Okay.
like football, where they're doing contact. However, I'm available for all the athletes. So if you're a tennis player, rolls their ankle during practice
Okay.
or tournament or match, they're welcome to come in. Any athlete can come with a concern. So.
Good.
So with school
Great.
starting and all these sports starting, a lot of parents are probably wondering, how can I help my kid not get an injury? Do you have any tips?
Totally. Yeah, I would say 5 things. So
Okay.
stay hydrated.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, water is super important.
now.
My Diet
when-
Coke, right? Okay.
Right, yes. Diet Coke has water in it, right?
Swimming water.
Yeah, and then make sure they're replacing electrolytes if they have like a more intense workout, which a lot of these athletes are doing.
Okay, I love that you just said this. So I'm sorry to interrupt. I literally was looking everywhere for the hydro gummies with electrolytes.
Okay.
Because I have a soccer player and they're like, replace the electrolytes, make sure the drink. So, I mean, how do you feel about supplements?
Yeah, I think that a lot of times you can get those necessary nutrients from your diet, but when these athletes are going super hard, and they
Okay.
probably are electrolyte deficient, I think those things are fine.
Okay.
Those
So hydrating. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, so the second one would be making sure they're eating a balanced and nutritious diet. So making sure they're putting good fuel into their bodies because they're using a lot of energy, right? So, and then the third one is getting a good amount of sleep. So the recommended amount is 8 hours. A lot of people don't realize that sleep is really the only time that our body can recover. So if they're not sleeping, their body's not fully recovering for the next day of practice or games. So making sure they're sleeping and rejuvenating their body for the next day. I would say the fourth is making sure they have a good warm-up. That's obviously on coaches, but you can always encourage your athlete to do dynamic stretching, make sure they're getting their heart rate up a little bit, get that blood pumping, the muscles warm, so they don't injure themselves during intense practices. The fifth might seem a little strange, but wear sunscreen, okay?
I love you. I'm embracing all of this because I feel like it's all the things that a mom should be saying
Tell
too.
me the sunscreen.
So sunscreen, it's not directly correlated with injury, right? But overall, you're gonna benefit your health, decrease your risk of skin cancer, and no one likes to be practicing with a bad sunburn.
No one wants to do anything with a sunburn.
Yeah, especially when they're out there in the hot sun, like making sure they have.
But I think,
sunscreen.
like, especially with football, I noticed that with some of the boys. They're out there in their tanks and just their helmet, and they're and then the next day they're fried, and it's a little bit harder.
And then putting shoulder pads on that, would be really painful.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, so what's your favorite part of your job?
I love building relationships with the teams and the athletes. It's super fun to help them be able to perform at their highest level. And then I love watching teams just progress and improve throughout the season. It's one of my favorite parts about being with a high school and being with teams is kind of getting that, from the beginning of the season to the end, seeing all the wins and losses. So that's probably my favorite part.
I would agree. I think our athletic trainer, we put him in all of our football pictures because he was a team member.
Yeah.
Really, we could not have done it without him by our side.
Yeah.
And by the end, the boys just loved him and respected him, and And you need a tip jar in your office, okay?
Maybe I'll pull that one up.
Well, Maple Mountain High School has a lot of state champions. Last year, I know several teams came into city council and were recognized. So the athletes up there are ambitious and driven, and I'm sure you're dealing with a lot.
Yeah, they're amazing. I think there's 1,100 athletes. I don't want to speak wrong, but like about half the school are athletes. So they're awesome. I'm really excited.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Because of the partnership with Intermountain, are you equipped with some? I mean, do they help with some of the equipment? I mean, I don't know a ton about ice baths or anything in that nature, but like, what does your equipment room look like?
Yeah,
Your
so
supply closet.
My training room is accumulated a lot of stuff throughout the years from past trainers. Intermountain does definitely help with a lot of that supplies and especially emergency response equipment as well. So they really take care of us. It's awesome.
That is fantastic.
What is the benefit to work at Intermountain and be at Nebo School District?
Yes. I love the providers at Intermountain, and so like Dr. Gillette, Dr. Robinson, have a really close working relationship with them, and so it's really fun to be able to refer athletes to them. They can usually get athletes in pretty quick, like they can squeeze them in between patients just because they have that partnership with us. So it's a really fun opportunity. Same with physical therapists and a lot of other resources.
Okay, you're kind of the middleman.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. That's interesting. This is interesting.
It's the coolest thing. Like, you don't know this person exists until you need them, and then you're like, how could we do this without this person?
That's how it always is, right?
Yeah,
it is. Until you need something wrapped or iced.
And they're wrapping ankles like for days.
Yes. Abby, good luck this year. You're going to have another big year up there, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Good luck. Go Eagles.
Yes, go Eagles.
Yes, we'll see you on the field.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I'm sorry to tell you, but substitute teaching is not babysitting. Welcome Lynn Tusher, the representative for EduStaff from the Nebo School District, to the table. Hello.
Well, hello. Thank
Well,
you.
Mr. T, right?
I do go by Mr. T.
Oh my
Perfect.
goodness, you have a big gold chain.
Right? I've been known for 38 years, so it's hard to change.
Yeah, that's awesome. We know nothing about this. Natasha,
Okay.
intro us.
So, well, let's talk about you first. What is your education background, and how did you get involved with EduStaff?
Okay, I graduated from BYU, so I always felt I wanted to give back to to teaching. I taught here in Nebo School District for 36 years, and I retired 2 years ago.
Dang.
And I wasn't done with teaching children.
Okay.
So the year after my retirement, I wanted to work every day, and I became a substitute teacher myself. So not only did I need substitutes as a teacher in Nebo, but I became a substitute teacher and worked almost every day the following year of my retirement.
Full circle.
See, it's giving back, full circle giving back. And then in April of that year, this job came open, the representative for EduStaff with the Nebo School District. They're two different entities.
Okay.
And I hire the substitute teachers and train them so that they can go out into the classrooms and are better prepared to go out and to help those kids.
So in essence, EduStaff kind of found you or reached out to you,
They did.
and then wow.
Okay.
And they have a good find in you.
Well, thank you. I love and have a passion for teaching children.
Okay.
And I loved what I did as a substitute teacher. But I'm learning quickly I am still able to give back in a different way to the kids here at Nebo School District.
So what is the current need of the school district for substitutes?
Well, you know, that's a great question. I was blown away as a teacher in Nebo, but last year we have a high need for substitutes, and they don't need. They can be high school graduates with a transcript, a GED, but we needed to fill 37,000 jobs. You heard that correctly.
I thought I was going to say 37.
No. My dear friends, we needed to fill in Nebo School District 37,000 jobs. And we did that, and we have a sub right here, 98% fill rate, which is, the national average is 84%. And here at Nebo last year, we were at 98%.
Good job.
So, yeah,
You're doing your job.
Yeah, that's
I
amazing.
want you guys to know that these substitutes are appreciated, and I want them to know they're valued and they're heard, because we could not do what we need to do here at Nebo and service those kids if we did not have the substitutes.
Well,
So
she's
how?
loved it.
Yeah, totally. She has. How does that help fulfill the need for the youth development or the passion for education through this little program?
Well, the thing that I like about it is, as a former teacher in Nebo, is I still get to go out into the schools and see the secretaries and the admin, and I see kids that I taught in 5th grade. So that's exciting to me. But what fills my heart is doing my workshops. Last year, I trained about 560 substitute teachers to fill the needs here at Nebo. And some of those were former students of mine. So I'm seeing it go full circle.
So, did you do this program?
So I had to sit through the program, and then there's also online modules that you also have to go through. So I mean, it's a very serious process. So it's vetting to make sure who is actually going to be inside those classrooms, because it isn't babysitting.
I agree.
You want to educate the student. That's our goal in there.
You know, the days of substituting, when I started teaching in 1985, substitute teachers could come in and their guitars, sing and dance and have a good time with the kids.
Put on a video.
We can't do that anymore. We have to follow the lesson plans the teacher gives us, because the curriculum is driving this, and we've got to stay to that and stuff. So I need my substitutes to follow the lesson plans that the teachers leave.
So before we get to the lesson plans and training, how could our viewers be involved, that they're like, I could use a part-time job, or maybe their kids are all back to school. This is good timing.
This is great, you guys. I welcome you all. Yes, there's 2 ways you can do it. You can go to edustaff.org,
Okay.
and you can fill out the application. There is an online application, and most of it is done streamlined. It's all done electronically, except for the I-9s where I need to verify their IDs, because
Okay.
we are having these people our guests in the classrooms. I need to make sure who we're getting in the classrooms.
Thank you for verification.
And are they long-term positions, or is this like one day here, there?
You know, that's a great question. The beauty and the success of EduStaff, instead of the other companies we have been with, I really believe in my heart it is the EduStaff company itself. But they have a representative, me. I am the face of EduStaff, and I have an office at the district office. So I am here to take emails, phone calls, and have the substitutes to come into my office, talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, because it is not easy.
Working directly with the district.
Working with the district, so we're a partnership, and I love my partnership because they were my family for 36 years. Now EduStaff is my family, and you know, I have 1,100 approved subs, but that's the beauty of it. You don't have to work every day. You only have to do 2 days, once before Christmas break and once before the end of the school year, to keep your application open. So if you're going to continue in your education and want to become a teacher or whatever, you can set it up how often you want to work. I wanted to work every day, and I did 140
But
days
if someone's
before.
like once a week, then they can set those parameters.
They can set those parameters and work once a week. We like them to work as often as they can. Now, you're right, my friend. You can take a job here, here, and here. I always tell my substitutes, try elementary, try middle school. Take a risk and try junior high and high school. And if your craft is SPED, we need you in the SPED classrooms. But you need to find out where your craft is, correct? And then do that. But I also liked being a former teacher here in Nebo. I did long-term subbing. So for maternity leaves or somebody was having surgeries. The year of COVID, I missed 18 weeks of school. That's the first time in my 36-year career. I needed substitutes. I needed someone I could trust with my kids.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? And so the year after my retirement, I did 2 long-term maternity leaves. And I loved it because I got to know, this is important to me as relationships, as I got to know more kids, faculty and staff that I would have never met.
You're passionate about it. So passionate.
Well,
I feel like
you can
that's
feel it, and there's so much respect that I have now.
And love.
I mean, just reading I'd arrive early and read the lesson plan, and I'm like, how do they do? Like, how do they wake up literally and do that every
day.
single day with these kids every single day? And I was kind of one of those that enjoyed all aspects. I really loved elementary school, but I really had passion for the special needs classes. I did love middle school. Junior high, I don't know why. My team going into junior high. It's not scary. It's actually, it's not even connections, but you do kind of make different types of connections with maybe something. I hadn't been in a band classroom for years. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can actually help you read your music a little bit.
Correct.
So it's really rewarding in so many ways.
Well, I think working with children and youth in general, there's something about that. They're receptive to wanting to learn and grow and be loved and nurtured. And so I think that in itself, when you see them smile or excel, that's a reward in itself.
And that fills my bucket. So even though I'm not substituting right now, I told my peers at EduStaff, can I just do 1 day a month so I can stay connected to the schools? And they said, Mr. T, we need you in the office for the subs.
Right.
But I also, it does my heart good to go like to Spanish Fork Junior High, and I walk in and some of my 5th graders that I taught run up to me, So I'm still getting my bucket filled.
Can I ask you about pay schedule at all? Is that appropriate?
That's fine.
A lot of our viewers may want to know. What is it?
a substitute starting out, I want to put this out here that EduStaff is nationwide. Okay. We have 2 school districts here in Utah, Park City and Nebo, and Weber School District is now joining us. But we have over 600 school districts nationwide from Oregon to New Jersey. And it's a very fast-growing company. And I feel it's been very, very successful here in the Nebo School District. So I like sharing that. But the pay is, and it's been increased. Back in the day, substitutes like got $50 to $60 a day for something. It is now, you sub a day, it's $100. And after day 31, you go to $120.
Nice.
31 consecutive or just?
No, just 31. As soon as you hit day 31 total, you will bump. Now, if you want to bump faster, after 5 consecutive days, and you like in a long-term subbing job, you will bump to the $120 as a teacher.
Awesome. That's like a 20% increase.
Oh,
just after,
and I am grateful. I'm grateful to Nebo School District and what they have done for the substitutes.
Right. Well, and it's just the flexibility. I mean, if you just want to pick a couple of days, or if you want to, it only works for me maybe 9 to 12 today as a technician, or maybe as in the classroom all day long. But for me, having a full-time career and then having my own personal issues and stepping back and trying to coordinate with kids' schedules, it's great for part-time work for moms, for all
and
the
to stay
people
close to home and close to your little.
It's all positive, right?
It's all positive. Realtors and stuff. People. I want to work with anybody that's willing to come in and do this.
Thank you for sharing this. This is really helpful information.
Well, I will talk forever about this.
No, and I could too. And you've seen the signs at the school, so if you're interested, definitely check it out.
Yes.
Thanks, Mr. T, for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Of course, thank you. For an 8-year-old little girl in Russia, happiness and love did not exist. But then it all changed. Let's welcome Kaylin Maurer and that little girl from Russia to the table.
Thank you for having me. Hi. Thank you.
This is going to be a great story, and we can just say take it from here and tell your whole story, right?
Well, I guess if you want me to tell the whole story, it might be way long.
Okay.
Okay, tell us a short and condensed version.
Yes.
Okay. So, my name's Kaylin Maurer, and I was adopted at 8 years old.
Okay.
And in the years, I've always wanted to write a book about my feelings and everything, but then life kind of got in the way and lots of figuring things out as I was getting older. And anyways, I finally wrote it, but I wrote it because I wanted to show my appreciation for the 2 people that changed my life, and that is my parents. And then when I decided to finally finish it, I was like, I've got to do something good about this. And so I just decided that if people buy my book, then the funds go to families that are adopting, because that's what I can do to help. Because financially, adoption is so expensive, and it's such a long process as well and
Right.
stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I hear from you is gratitude and humble. Like you didn't once talk about your struggle with not having a mother and a father at the beginning. What was that like for you?
The struggle.
Or just what was your life like without a mom and a dad?
So a lot of things, like I said, I was in the orphanage, and so there's a lot of things that I've decided to block out. But in one of the pages, and I'll try not to cry because I cry every time, and so, but one of the pages that is very important to me is that I never received love. I never received a hug. And like having 2 strangers just come up and like give me a hug, I had no idea what that was.
Did your heart feel it? I wonder,
Yeah,
did you
it did.
need that?
I did. And at first I was like scared, and I was like, what are you doing to me? Like, this is so weird. I just went like this.
Stiffened up, right?
Yeah, but then my heart just softened more, and like just seeing my parents' face, like they were so happy and crying. And though I didn't understand like what really was happening, I knew that I loved that feeling, and I wanted it more and more.
I think it's interesting not ever having that. I wondered if it's like an innate human need or want.
For sure.
I would,
I
yeah.
think every kid wants that, especially having my own kids. I try to give them as much love as I can. So when they are struggling or not struggling, I'm like, I know that a hug would be amazing for you, but you don't want it. And so that's really hard as being a parent. You have to respect their boundaries too. But it definitely changed my life. And
did you spend your all of your first 8 years in the orphanage?
No. So like my senior year, I never wanted to talk about my past ever. I always told people I was from Provo. Oh, especially when I was in class.
Provo's a great place. I'm from Provo.
Yes. So my brother was also adopted as well, and we all flew out together. And so I got held back, and so we were always in the same grade. And so people, you know, would introduce themselves, and my brother would always go first. And he would be like, oh, by the way, that's my sister, and she's from Russia. And I'm like, no, I'm from Provo. But I also found out as I got older, especially when I was pregnant with my first child, that I wanted to find out like where I really was, because like a lot of the adoption papers that we got, like there's not a lot of information. And so, but I did find out that I was like in the hospital for like a year. Because my mother tried to abort me. And then I was in an orphanage until about 3, and then they moved me to another orphanage. And then that's when my parents came and adopted me when I was 8.
Okay.
Wow.
How beautiful.
I know.
It's hard. Like, I'm trying not to cry too.
Yeah, don't cry.
No. But so how did your parents connect with the orphanages in Russia to bring you
That'd probably
home?
be like a good question for my mother, but
maybe so.
I think they had some friends that were up in Salt Lake City that they were adopting, and so it was like a friend from a friend, and then they all like met together and became friends, and then that's when they decided the adoption and did all the papers and stuff. And so it took them like a year or 2 years to make it all work.
And you said your brother, is he your biological brother?
No, he's not.
Okay. He was
in a different orphanage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think adoption in itself is like such a gift of love on both sides, right? You have to accept this new family as your own, and they are taking you as their own and not knowing what that is.
Yeah.
How do you build that family after? What does that connection look like for you guys? Is it just immediate, or is it
Like with my own family? Definitely when you have kids, you learn so much. And there's a lot of things that will, you know, come up into my life that it hits a trigger, and I'm like, holy cow, why am I feeling this way? And so a lot of it does kind of go back to my past a little bit, but then what I can do is what my parents have taught me, is to love and just to enjoy every moment that you have, because I may never have that again. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I think that that's true, like in everyone's life though, right? Like I have things that have happened to me in my past that trigger me and then make me either a bad parent for a minute or hopefully a better parent for a minute. But I think it's really neat to be adopted at an older age. And I don't even know if that's older, but I imagine a lot of people like a baby or something, but how magical to have that opportunity as an older person.
It seems like it's been magical for you enough that you want to, you've written a book, you want to talk about your experience, you want other people to maybe have that same experience for your mom and maybe for the child to feel that love. I don't know that we talk so much anymore, and I'm just saying in general maybe about either orphanages or even the new way of
Foster
adoption.
care.
Yes, I struggled having children. So to even reach out to someone like yourself to say like, how do I start? Like, I want this child so much, and I want this child to be our child, like forever and ever. So how does one start that process with you?
So one of my things that I do is I actually find a family. Or I've had people that contacted me. It was like, hey, I would love for you to help us. Some of it's been like, give me some money. And I'm like, holy cow, like, that's not what I do. But yeah, I really, I have lots of big goals, but my big goal is to reach out to those kids that are being adopted or that are been adopted, and I want them to feel, and I want the parents to know and have a different perspective in what the child needs.
Okay.
And what they feel as they're going through that adoption process or what they're going through when they're home. And so, because growing up, I always talk to parents about like their experiences and what they went through and like their emotions, but I never talked to anybody except for like my brother. But like I never really talked to anybody about adoption and what they went through and what the child went through.
Totally.
And so that's why I wanted to make this book, so other children can feel what I could feel or what parents think that parents could go through with their child.
So let's talk about the book.
Yeah.
How do people get their hands on this book or help with funding or share the story with these kids?
Yeah. So I do have a business card here, but you can find the book on Amazon.
Okay.
On, When My World Changed by Kaylin Maurer. And then I do have a blog that's also on these cards, and it's whenyougive.weebly.com. And when you give someone, whatever it may be, a donation or whatever, but you're helping that child get a home with love and everything that can become the first of theirs.
And that's what I wanted to read, this one little page. My first 9th birthday was so unforgettable. I had my first cake, ice cream, presents, and 9 sparkly candles that I got to blow out. I had my first song sung to me by my extended family and all the birthday cheer I could handle. I felt so happy and loved, and it was all for me.
And that was your first birthday?
That was my first birthday.
Oh,
yep.
my.
And these are all my first of things that I all received because I didn't have them. And so,
oh my gosh, Kaylin, this is incredible.
You said you wouldn't cry.
Yeah, I'm a liar. It's okay. I'm a crier. How special adoption truly is, just like a really special connection for people.
It's amazing. Very blessed.
Anything else?
Yeah, anything else you want to leave with us before we wrap up?
I just want people to, it's really not about like the money. I really want my story to be there for the children or for those parents that are adopting those kids, that they may have a different perspective in what they are going through.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thanks for being vulnerable and sharing not just us, but in your book and with the kids.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, Kaylin.
Yeah.
We covered a wide range of topics today. What did we learn?
We did. It was such a high energy, I don't know. I felt like I got so much from it.
It was definitely a lot.
Right?
I feel like we could keep learning more from each guest.
I feel like I've got to go back and listen to them and read. Okay.
Let's start answering.
Kaylin, to first started out with, I love feel good stories, and it just makes my heart break that there's children out there that don't have a mother or father and they're first or when they're 9 years old, right?
Yeah, and I guess
how beautiful.
in my head I'm thinking, oh, they're at an orphanage, but someone's still hugging them. Like how
The first hug is when those parents came to get her. Like, how would that be? And then she's a mother herself and showing that love. I just think that's a beautiful story.
It's so important. It's interesting, actually. We were having this conversation in my home the other day with the kids, and I don't even know how it got to that point, but we were talking about human touch and hugs and how that's so important. And newborns, even when they're born, sometime they do the skin therapy, where it's the skin therapy to kind of feel that human touch. And we talked about orphanages, how sometimes when they're not held there in the beginning, you hear stories of them just kind of turning their face to the wall and dying. So to have
the heart needs
yes,
love
it
and
really
connection.
does. The connection, and I love that she's written a book about her story and wants to help others.
Well, your story sharing about being a substitute teacher,
Right.
talking about loving kids and giving of yourself.
love the kids, love Mr. T. So, I mean, I have probably just a small stack at home from my experiences this past year subbing. And I mean, kids are just so full of love. Like, we love you, Mrs. Lockhart. And
You feel like a rock star a little bit.
You kind of do.
Right?
You kind of do. And I mean, you always get that in your own home, but sometimes when you step outside of yourselves and you kind of feel that from the kids, and they're like, gosh, we talked about pennies and nickels and dimes today. Like we did a little math lesson or something, but just they want to share so many things with you, and what they did in their house, and their siblings and their pets, and like.
I'm sure you know sometimes more than what the parents
I
do,
was just
right?
gonna say, yeah.
Yes,
Like,
you get to hear all the
shouldn't have said
tidbits that are going on in their head during the day, which is so fun.
But it's heartwarming. I mean, Mr. T was making his heart the whole time, and that's truly what it is. I mean, you just go home like. It is a draining job for those teachers, day in and day out. I mean, there were days I'd go home, and some of those days, I'm sure, for everybody, you're challenging, right? You're like, wow, that was a lot today, like mentally. And I mean, and I haven't even seen math from, 100 years ago, and I had to help teach this today and be an assistant. But because you're going home with that feeling, and they're giving you a little Post-it note or telling you a story, hey, this is why. This is why they do this every single day, because they wake up with that energy and that passion and love for the kids.
And they need someone who loves them back, right?
Right?
Yeah, they do.
And you do. You could just hear it.
Oh my gosh! And every time I would do it and come home and be like, oh. Nope, it's first grade today. Nope, it was the little special needs class today. Or, I mean, I had that one experience in band, and I'm like, oh my gosh! Like I remember playing the clarinet now, and just making those weird connections. Kind of like it's as much for me as it was for them.
That's awesome.
And that's when you know you found a good job,
right?
A good career.
It's just so. Yeah,
rewarding.
It is rewarding, but the flexibility, and you can help other people, and the service part of it almost is just it's great.
I love it.
Yes.
Talking about service, Abby. I mean, guys, I connected with her so much because I saw Rory, the Spanish Fork athletic director, and how much they do for those athletes. She is amazing, and I love the fact that IHC and the school district work together to employ them. I imagine that it just gives them so much more, right? So much more in their basket.
I had no idea.
Right?
I had no idea.
They would tape for like 2 hours before practices.
I'm sure.
Right? And then after doing the same thing, it's just, they're unsung heroes of those like sports. I really do feel that way.
Well, and more service. I mean, let's have some assistance with our travel.
I was gonna say on a lighter note,
Kelsey.
Yeah.
that sounds fun.
Yeah.
That's fun.
She's darling.
And you can feel that she's very passionate about what she's doing too,
And that she's been some
plan.
places so she can give some feedback.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. So what has been one of your favorite trips in your life? If viewers are thinking, where should I go? Where would you want to tell someone, be sure to go here if you're able to?
Well, because of the Olympics, it's thrown us back to when we were able to go to Paris. And we've ruminated about some of those experiences because some of the people were not so nice to us there, but we saw some really amazing sights. But the history and everything of France and of England, London area, like that was just cool to see that history, that really deep history. That in Alaska. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I already mentioned Croatia. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I would love to go back there sometime. And I think we've talked about this before too. Like, I believe that every U.S. citizen should go to D.C.
Oh, we have.
I want to go. I can't believe you're going to take me.
I will.
I'm going to go with you. Okay.
There's so much history there, and I love New York, and I love Hawaii
New York too.
and I love all the places.
I love Disneyland in any place, world,
anywhere, right? And where's your next destination?
We're going to the UK in the fall, so we'll be going to
fantastic.
England, Scotland, and Ireland, so I'm super excited. But I haven't been there, so for me, I think Italy. Like, we went to 6 different cities in Italy, and I just
loved it.
And it goes back to the history, the deep richness, like coming into Rome and coming up to the Colosseum and being like, this is not like Utah history of 150 years
ago. You can feel it, right? You can
It's a
feel
big
it. I
world,
love it.
people. So many places
Go
to
see what you
right?
can. Do a staycation.
Yes,
Go to Park
there you
City.
go. There you go. Well, thanks for being here with us. We hope you've enjoyed the conversation. If you've learned something new, please tell a friend about us.